Welcome to Mona Tutorials. In this session, we're going to be looking at uploading your VRM to GitHub. First, we're going to have a quick look at sign up and sign in. Then we're going to look at uploading your VRM and then copying the link and using it in Mona. Let's jump in. First things first, we need to go to github.com. You can sign in or sign up. If you haven't signed up before, you'll need to do a couple of things, such as using your username, email, and password. There'll be a small human check. You can go through a survey, and then you'll need to verify your account with your email address. So that's the sign up process, pretty easy and straightforward. Once you have an account, however, you can sign in. And then you'll have this element here. If you haven't created any repositories or kind of folders to store your information on, which I've hidden here, you might get something that looks like this. Once you have created some repositories, then you'll use this new repository here to create the folders or the storage locations that we want for our VRMs. So you want to use either create repository or new here. So let's do that. We'll have the owner, which is basically you, and then do repository name. So we're going to go tutorial VRMs. That'll do. You can type in a description here if you want, but that is optional. The main thing you do need to note is that it needs to be public. Because Mona uses the address, it has to be able to be seen. So public is very important. I would actually recommend adding a README file, and I'll show you why in a second. And these you don't have to worry about. If you want to, you can set your license here, depending on what you're going to be doing with your assets. Now note, this will set a main as the default branch. That is important. Perhaps if you've been using an older version of GitHub, this might actually be master. So that will also play a part in the address that we use. So once again, name, public, README file for reasons, and create repository. Clicking on that. Okay, so we have our repository. Now, our README file is very useful because we can add the address. So if you look at the doc, so this is the example there, that's what we've just went through. And we eventually will need to use this address here. So I'm actually going to grab this because this will make things easier later. So in our README, I'm just going to go return and that. Now this raw git user hub content.com GitHub username, which is diskmage. And you can see that up here. The repo name, which is tutorial VRM, which you can see here. And then this will be sort of main or master. And I pointed out before that in my case, it is main. Now, after that, we'll have the VRM address, like the name of the file, but I'm going to keep it like that. So commit changes. So anytime I want to make a link, I can just copy this every single time. So once again, let's look at that. Raw GitHub user content.com, your username, the repository name, and main, which is here, or master, which it might be. And then you will add the file name that you add. Now for that, let's add that file. So once again, click on the area up here to go to the repository itself. And then we want to add a file. So let's go to upload new files. You can drag and drop or choose your files if you like. So I'm going to drag and drop. Go to my files as needed, and then drag and drop here. Of course, you could use choose files, and that will pull up the address there. Same thing. Wait for it to upload, and once done, you can commit changes. I'm not sure if I can do that before it's uploaded or not. Feel free to experiment. So commit directly to main branch, good, and commit. Okay, so we have our README and we have our VRM file. So now that we've done that, we can actually very easily grab a new window, put that in, grab this one, copy, paste, and then we have our total address that we can use in Mona. Okay, so once again, press 4, import VRM. That's the address that we had before. Load. And done. So that's how we use GitHub in Mona. Now, the key thing there is changing the address from the default. If I go to here and copy permalink, if I drag and do that, it does give you an address, but it's not the right one. This will not work. So make sure to use the example in the documentation or in this tutorial that will transfer the link of your VRM to a public addressable asset that Mona can use. Once you've done that, you should be good to go. Hopefully that helps, and have a good day. Happy building.